welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're either catching me on my YouTube channel True Divine 44, on my Facebook page True Divine 44. Like, share, subscribes and comments are greatly appreciated on either or both of those platforms, and much love to everybody who's doing that thus far. So this is what I'm doing. I'm putting out as much free content as I can to help support, guide and inspire those who want to be supported, guided and inspired. It's up to you to take what resonates from the readings that I put out. Just take what it reflects your life and the experience that you're having right now. Don't try and bend readings to your will, because you just don't get the best out of them, and sometimes you can manifest problems that weren't there before. So it's up to you to be discerning, to see if I'm connecting with you or not, or whether you can take any guidance from this at all. It's up to you to discern that. So we're working as a team. So, and we need to today. The 9th of May 2020 feels like a tough day for a lot of people. I've been picking up on a lot of tension, a lot of anxiety all morning, tense, tight energy, wound up. So I pull the cards, and it, like always, the cards reflect the energy that I feel. So the first card for the 9th of May is the 9 of Swords in reverse. This is a feeling of despair. This is a feeling of maybe spiraling into something as bad as depression. A lot of people feel like they're falling, feel like they're spiraling today, which is difficult, because it means that we cling on harder. And when you get to the 9 of Swords in reverse, you've already built up these mental walls, the swords being thoughts, air, words. So you've already built up these mental walls, you've already built up problem after problem in your life into something that is much bigger than it really is. So the illusion is that the only thing you have right now to cling on to while you feel like you're spiraling is these very thoughts, the very things that have imprisoned you, the very things, because they feel safer, because you've sat with these thoughts for some time, or they've been affecting your life even in the subconscious for some time. So when we get to a point where the energy is like this, it can feel so cruel. It can feel brutal. It is very difficult to just let go and spiral and fall. And that's what I feel like a lot of people need to do today. Rather than clinging on to the very thought walls that you've built up around yourself, around the experience that you're having. If you spiral, if you just can find a way today to just be. This card can give you the gift of bringing up those things that need to be managed, even if it's just for you to think them through and do some self-questioning and drill right down, I mean right down to the seed of where that thought got in, and extract it once it's small enough to extract. But right now, today, the more you cling on, the more you try harder, the less success you're going to have, because you're clinging on to those very thoughts that you've built up into something that is much bigger than it is. So it feels hard to manage, it feels overwhelming. So sometimes we need to fall, sometimes we need to trust and let go, so that we get to the bottom, and we can see that layer where these things started to creep in, and at that point we can start to construct ideas of how to get rid of those barriers, or of those thought patterns, or whatever it may be. There's a saying of, you know, you need to hit rock bottom. Now I think that's a beautiful saying, because many people in my life who have felt this kind of despair, who have felt this kind of stress, who haven't been able to see the wood for the trees, so to speak. They've built things up in their mind, tortured themselves. The people that I love, that I've seen like that, are the people, thankfully they let go. Thankfully they hit rock bottom. And I do thank the universe for that, because they ultimately were caught. And they ultimately are now happy, alive, and having more of an experience than they did before, with more lessons learned than they'd had before, being able to extract the benefits of being at rock bottom and all of the experiences that led you to that rock bottom. But the longer that we cling on to these ego walls that we've built up, i.e. it started as a seed, a small problem, we didn't deal with it, we buried it. builds up over the years with the different triggers and experiences that we have that relate to that seed. And by the time we're in this Nine of Swords reversed, it's like breathlessness, it's overtaking energy, and it feels anxious. Let go. Don't cling on. Just let go. So whatever makes you feel relaxed today, whatever makes your mind breathe today, whatever makes you be able to take a breath today without it being forced or anxious, do it. Let go and do it. Do that, and start to feel your body, you know, release that tension. It'll feel very odd. The only way I can experience it is I'm feeling people who, sometimes when I'm in bed and I'm going to sleep, my body will do something weird, and I know there's something that describes it, some medical thing, can't think of that now, but I feel like all of a sudden I'm falling, and I'm falling hard, and it makes you jolt, physically jolt. Now to me, this Nine of Swords that I'm asking people to do today, to let go of those cliff edges that have been built up of these thoughts, these seeds that got in so long ago, you forgot that they were there. So now it only takes an outside force to get a little bit harder, a little bit more controlling, for it to feel like overwhelming. That's the Nine of Swords in reverse. And so it will feel odd today, because I'm feeling people having that experience, whether it's during the night or during the day, whatever time zone you're on, of that falling feeling. And everything reflecting on everything, I feel like it's the spirit falling, and the physical body feels that and reflects that. Now this is a difficult thing to manage, an anxious thing to manage, but it's beautiful, because in my vision that I'm having right now, it's the spirit wants to meet you in the physical, at the base of you, where you've buried everything, all of the lower vibrational energies that aren't all bad, they're necessary, but some of them, but the ones that aren't necessary, that still brew there. You're meeting yourself at the bottom, you're catching yourself as you fall. Your spirit is completely capable of that, and that's what needs to happen for you two to meet, to get together, to use the whole of you to extract these seeds that have caused you so much confusion, pain, anxiousness. You don't need to carry it. This is not necessary to your existence. This is not necessary to your soul's journey. This is extra baggage that you've allowed in, and you've tried to bury and not deal with properly. Now is the time, during what I think is a real reset for one way or the other, for good or bad, now is the time to use it constructively and extract those things that do not serve you, extract those things that give you pain, anxiousness, mental exhaustion. The second card is the Ten of Air, and this is beautiful, because this means the people that I'm feeling falling, the body jolt that I'm feeling, that happens when I'm trying to go to sleep sometimes, and the spirit meeting you at the bottom. This is the Ten of Swords, so this is that cycle ended. This is showing you that you have the capabilities to meet yourself at the base of yourself, at the very bottom, at the very start, when anything got in, and use this time constructively to, in whatever way you can, extract those things. I recommend for a lot of you today, for symbolism, to write everything down, write the names of people, write the labels that you took on, whatever those seeds are, and then burn them. Burn them. And remember this Ten of Swords, and claim that end of the cycle. Release them completely. They do not exist to you anymore when you get to this Ten of Swords. There's no more room in your back. On one of the other traditional cards, it's somebody lying down with 10 swords in their back, and they're bleeding out, they're leaking. But that's the end of it. This is the rock bottom. This is where you see where those seeds got in. This is where you see how you can help yourself. This is where you see some light in the darkest corners of self. So this is a battle like no other with self, and you attain in this, you get into this Ten of Swords today, that's a battle won. And believe you me, because of this battle, because of what all 10 of these swords represent, you can believe that there are lessons here that can take you forward, that can help you push yourself into the reality that gives you bliss, that gives you passion, that gives you peace. So the third card being the Hangman, this is the major arcana of this reading, and to me it's very simplistic. The Hangman, you could go on for ages explaining, but I've gone on quite a while already. It's basically just being. He's comfortable in his position, waiting to have enlightenment, waiting to have that different perspective, looking outside of the situation and looking down from a different angle completely. He's hanging upside down to do so. There's patience in this today, and I feel there's a lot of you who've just got to accept that this is a necessary thing, and it's more necessary than ever, because this, seeing things from a different perspective, hanging out in the base of you, waiting for that enlightenment, just being, just trusting, just falling, is the very time that you turn this around. You turn those things that jailed you, that kept you imprisoned, you turn those things into something that you can use to go forward, something that is going to help your journey, something that is going to make you more powerful, more successful, more peaceful, more blissful. So it's important to just be today, and the energies, just go with them. To be honest, you've got no choice, they're so strong. If this resonates with you, you're falling. So fall quick and get to that 10 of swords. Start looking at those seeds where everything got in and extract them. They're not yours to have anymore. They're not part of your journey anymore. On the bottom of the deck, underpinning the whole reading, is the beautiful Lovers card. I want to say, just because this represents me, that this is a card that traditionally would represent Gemini. It's the major decisions in life. It's the decision to put self first, so that you can ultimately put others, you know, in your line of benevolence. So you're balancing out in this card the divine masculine and divine feminine, which is exactly what you need while you pick out all of these seeds, all of these swords, these thoughts, these seed thoughts. Making that major decision to say this far and no further. This is my life can go in a different direction. Whatever decision that may be, I don't know, because I'm reading for many. Take time on that decision. Look at it into the future. Be strategic. But that decision for a lot of you ultimately is going to be much better than this 9 of Swords in reverse. And this decision becomes open to you because you do get to this 10 of Swords. You do the work, which is awesome. It's, you know, it's powerful. So that is the reading for the 9th. Sorry, it was a bit deep. I feel like a lot of you are feeling this way, and my love goes out to you, and my guarantee goes out to you that you have got the power to release yourself from your thought prison. It's not the time for that anymore. It's the time to leave things behind truly, and to do that sometimes we have to go gardening inside and picking out some weeds, but it can be done. You've done it before, no doubt. If you're old enough listening to me, you know, you've had experiences like this before. This is a good big ending of a long cycle that needed to end. So it's good news. So for the 9th of the 5th 2020, that's it. If you'd like a private reading from me, you can book with any of the details above or below. You can message me on Facebook Messenger at TrueDivine44. Other than that, be balanced.